dead alligator down there.
No.
Ain't nobody been poaching down here. This is the most dangerous place I've ever been alligator.
Pickle Wheat was the breakout star of Swamp People. Tough, fearless, and impossible to ignore. So why did she suddenly vanish from the show without warning? Most fans assume it's the usual story: burnout, drama, or a drop in relevance. But not this time, because Pickle didn't fade away. She made a choice. A bold, unexpected one that flipped everything fans thought they knew.
Pee-wee, look at that line right there.
Oh, Lord have
It look like
mercy.
a nice one. Oh yeah, nice one, big one, Pee-wee.
I've gone deep into interviews, behind-the-scenes footage, and her own social media to uncover what really happened. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the full story, from her rapid rise to swamp royalty to the life-altering decision that took her off-screen. Trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next. She wasn't supposed to be the star. She was just a new face in a cast of seasoned swamp legends. But the moment Pickle Wheat stepped into the boat, everything changed. Audiences didn't just see a young woman, they saw a storm in motion. With a why? Her hands gripping the ropes and eyes locked on the water, Pickle didn't need a flashy intro. She was raw, real, and relentless. From the very first episode of Season 12, her presence cut through the noise like a rifle shot through morning fog. It wasn't about gender, age, or novelty. It was about grit, the kind of grit you can't fake. And the craziest part? She made it look easy. But here's where it gets interesting. Pickle wasn't just catching gators. She was catching the attention of a nation. Viewers didn't scroll, they stayed. Her scenes sparked spikes in ratings. Why? Because every time she showed up, she brought something the show hadn't seen in years: fresh energy. She stood toe-to-toe with veterans like Troy Landry and didn't flinch. No gimmicks, no drama, just pure focus and skill. And that's just the beginning. Behind the scenes, producers knew they had lightning in a bottle. The History Channel leaned in. Fans leaned closer. Pickle had turned the quiet art of alligator hunting into must-watch television. But if you think she was just made for TV, wait until you see what shaped her off camera. Don't scroll, because her origin story is even wilder. She didn't learn to hunt from a textbook. She learned it from the swamp itself. Long before TV cameras ever caught her in action, Pickle Wheat was navigating murky waters with a rope in one hand and her father's legacy in the other. Born Cheyenne Nicole Wheat in the heart of Louisiana. On September 21st, 1995, Pickle didn't grow up with dreams of fame. She grew up in the mud, where survival wasn't entertainment, it was everyday life. Her great-grandfather was one of the original gator hunters in St. Bernard Parish. Her father, Eddie Wheat, carried the tradition forward. And Pickle? She became its fiercest student. But listen to this. By the time most kids were worried about school dances, Pickle was hauling alligator carcasses through knee-deep swamp water. Her father didn't coddle her. He trained her, hand over hand, rope over rope. She learned the rhythm of the wild. No YouTube tutorials, no second chances, just intuition, danger, and legacy. Hold that thought, because it connects to something even crazier. She wasn't just a hunter. She was also part of the family's duck and turkey call business, a southern tradition nearly as old as the swamp itself. While her classmates were worrying about finals, Pickle was shaping wood, tuning calls, and running quality control. She didn't need a classroom to understand what mattered. Her community, her culture, her land, these were her teachers. And that's why when she finally showed up on national television, she wasn't performing, she was living. Every move she made was muscle memory, every decision, instinct. Stick around, because her nickname alone has a backstory you won't believe. You won't believe how she got the name that made her famous. It wasn't some marketing gimmick or TV producer's brainstorm. It came from a slip of the tongue, and it stuck like swamp mud on rubber boots. Her real name is Cheyenne Nicole Wheat, but when her middle name Nicole was said quickly by family in their thick southern drawl, it came out sounding like Shiny Pickle. And just like that, a legend was born. From the moment she could walk, she wasn't just Cheyenne, she was Pickle, and she wore it like a badge of honor. But here's where it gets interesting. The name followed her everywhere, through the backwaters, down the bayous, into the hunting boats, and through the family business. It became more than a nickname, it became a symbol. In a world where most reality stars rebrand themselves to stand out, Pickle didn't have to. She already was different. That goofy, offbeat name perfectly matched the grit and uniqueness she brought to everything she did. And the reason will surprise you. That childhood nickname helped her stay grounded. Even as TV cameras rolled and fame started circling, she never lost her roots. Pickle wasn't trying to become someone new. She was just showing the world who she'd always been. While other cast members wore larger-than-life personas, she showed up in jeans, rubber boots, and a braid, and stole the spotlight without even trying. And if you think her name is memorable, just wait until you hear what she said about college and fame. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for this next part. Most people think you need a diploma to prove you've made it. Pickle Wheat proved them all wrong, with nothing but a boat, a rope, and the kind of wisdom you can't buy in a classroom. In Not a Rare Interview with the History Channel, Pickle put it plain. I don't need a degree to be true to who I am. All I need is a good boat, a strong rope, and sharp eyes. That wasn't just a quote, it was a declaration. Pickle didn't walk the traditional path. She sprinted the muddy trail of real life, and she made it hers every step of the way. But listen to this. She didn't chase the spotlight. It found her. Before her breakout on Swamp People, she had zero interest in social media fame or Hollywood flair. She was the girl with the braided hair, mud-splattered jeans, and sleeves rolled up to carry 50 pounds of alligator meat across slick boat decks. Nothing about her screamed TV star, and that's exactly why she became one. Now, here's the twist. While others were obsessed with filters and followers, Pickle was building muscle, mastering tradition, and learning from generations who'd lived and died by the water. Her hands were calloused, her instincts razor sharp. That authenticity couldn't be faked, and viewers knew it. In an era where so many are playing roles, Pickle was just being herself, and that's what made her unforgettable. And it gets crazier, because when she finally stepped onto the Swamp People stage, she didn't just hold her own, she changed everything. She wasn't supposed to steal the show. She was the newcomer, the rookie among legends like Troy and Jacob Landry. But when Pickle Wheat first appeared in season 12 of Swamp People, it was like lightning struck the swamp. From her very first hunt, viewers were hooked. There was no warming up, no awkward introductions, just Pickle, standing steady on a rocking boat, staring down the barrel of a rifle, and doing what she was born to do. And suddenly, Swamp People didn't feel like the same old show anymore. It felt alive again. But here's where it gets even better. She wasn't just another cast member. They built the show around her. The History Channel saw what the fans, saw. Pickle was the future. Ratings spiked every time she appeared. Social media buzzed with her name, but it wasn't because she was loud or dramatic. Quite the opposite. She brought calm to chaos, precision to panic, and heart to the hunt. And that's when things really took off. Producers started pairing her with Troy Landry, the king of the swamp himself. It was a match made in Bayou heaven. The mentor-apprentice energy was electric. Watching Troy pass down decades of survival skills to Pickle felt like watching history unfold in real time, and fans couldn't get enough. But don't scroll, because what happened next proved she wasn't just a rising star. She was a force that no one saw coming. Most people would be satisfied conquering one deadly creature, not Pickle Wheat. Just as she cemented her place as a fearless gator hunter, she took on an entirely new predator. One even more elusive, faster, and just as deadly. The History Channel wasn't done with her. They brought her into Swamp People, Serpent Invasion, a spin-off filmed deep in the Florida Everglades. This wasn't the bayou she knew. It was snake country. Giant, invasive pythons, slithering through thick brush, hiding in silence, waiting to strike. For most, it was a nightmare. For Pickle, it was Tuesday. But that's not all. Trading gators for serpents didn't shake her. It proved her range. It showed fans that Pickle wasn't just good in Louisiana waters. She could adapt, improvise, and dominate in any wild terrain. She moved like she belonged there, scanning the ground for movement, listening for rustles, and striking fast when the moment came. Every new episode became proof that this wasn't some reality TV fluke. This was the real deal. And here's why that matters. Pickle became more than just a standout cast member. She became a symbol of female toughness in a space still ruled by men. She partnered with Ashley Jones, another powerhouse female hunter, forming a rare alliance that viewers instantly rallied behind. Together, they brought a new energy to the show. Gritty, determined, and totally unscripted. Don't scroll yet. Because behind the scenes, her life was about to take a turn no one saw coming. She was known for wrestling gators and wrangling pythons, but no one expected Pickle Wheat to take on the biggest adventure of her life, motherhood. Just as her name was rising in the credits and fans were demanding more of her on screen, she dropped a quiet bombshell on Facebook. A sonogram, a simple caption, and one name, Joshua Kippis. Pickle was pregnant, and everything was about to change. But wait, here's the twist. She didn't vanish. She didn't hit pause on her life. Pickle kept filming, kept hunting, kept showing up, pregnant belly and all, steering boats, checking bait lines, and prepping gear like it was just another season. While most would retreat, she leaned in. She proved to fans, and to herself, that she could be both a warrior and a mother. That grit doesn't stop growing when life changes. It adapts, and just when you thought it couldn't get more intense, In May 2023, she gave birth to her daughter, Mammy, a soft name for a hard-earned joy. And still, the swamp called. She returned for more filming in season 15, appearing in shortened trips with Troy Landry and the crew. It wasn't every day, but it was enough to remind everyone, Pickle wasn't done. She was just reshaping what her legacy would look like. And don't miss this part, because the way she balanced danger and diapers, fame and family, turned her into something even more powerful than a fan favorite. She became a role model. What happened next? Let's just say the cameras kept rolling, right into her wedding. She had wrestled beasts, faced storms, and stood tall in some of the most dangerous waters in America. But Pickle Wheat's biggest moment on Swamp People didn't come with a rifle in her hand. It came in a wedding dress, standing beside the man who had quietly stood beside her through it all. In February 2025, fans were stunned when an episode of Swamp People aired something the show had never done before. Pickle's wedding to EMT Joshua Kippis. No alligators, no boats, just a simple outdoor ceremony surrounded by family, friends, and a few trusted members of the crew. For a show built on action and adrenaline, this was a rare, intimate glimpse behind the curtain. But that's not even the wildest part. Just weeks before the wedding aired, Pickle posted another video, one that sent fans into a frenzy. She was pregnant again. 25 weeks and still kicking, she said, wearing her hunting gear with a calm smile and a baby bump. By March, she was 34 weeks along and preparing to welcome her second child in April or May. Yet even in the late stages of pregnancy, she was still hiking the swamp, helping with equipment, and showing fans that she wasn't slowing down, just shifting gears. And here's why that moment mattered. It wasn't just the wedding or the baby news. It was how openly and honestly she shared it all. No staged photos, no polished press releases, just Facebook videos, real words, and a woman who proved that being tough and being tender are not opposites. They're a powerful combination. But don't go anywhere, because her screen time suddenly started to vanish, and fans were left wondering, where did Pickle go? One day she was everywhere. On boats, in promos, leading hunts. The next, silence. No new clips, no mentions in trailers, just gone. Fans noticed immediately. Pickle Wheat, once the face of Swamp People's revival, was suddenly missing from the spotlight, and nobody knew why. At first it seemed subtle. A few fewer scenes here, a skipped episode there. But by late March 2025, the show's social media stopped posting about her altogether. Viewers scrolled through the comments, desperate for answers. Was she gone for good? Had something happened behind the scenes? Rumors spread like wildfire, but Pickle herself stayed quiet. But listen to this. On her personal Facebook, she posted a single, telling sentence. Right now, being at home is the #1 priority. No drama, no long explanation, just a quiet confirmation that her focus had shifted to family, especially with her second child due any day. The show never released an official statement, no flashy goodbye, just a slow fade from the narrative she had helped define for nearly 5 years. And here's what makes it hit even harder. This wasn't a fall from grace. It wasn't a scandal. It was a choice. A choice to step back when most would cling to the fame. A choice to value peace over popularity. And fans? They didn't turn on her. They rallied. Reddit threads lit up with praise. YouTube comments filled with hope. Everyone asking the same question. Will Pickle come back? Hold that thought, because the final segment reveals the legacy she's leaving behind, and it might just surprise you. She didn't leave with a bang. She didn't need to. Pickle Wheat stepped back from Swamp People the same way she stepped into it, on her own terms. No dramatic farewell. No desperate grasp at the spotlight. Just a quiet return to the life she always loved more than fame. But that's what makes her unforgettable. While some reality stars chase relevance, Pickle chased something deeper, authenticity. Even off camera, she never disappeared. She kept posting glimpses of her life. Baby Mammy's tiny hands, afternoon walks in the swamp, laughter at the dinner table. No filters, no fanfare. Just real moments, shared with 130,000 followers, who stuck around not for the gators, but for the woman behind the name. But here's where it gets even more powerful. She didn't stop working. Between pregnancies, she still helped with the family duck and turkey call business, checked quality, shaped wood, and showed up at local fairs. She collaborated with her husband's EMT unit, donating equipment to kids in rural areas. She even supported disaster relief efforts after storms, quietly, without cameras. Because she wasn't just a TV hunter, she was a community protector, and that's why her story matters. Pickle Wheat became something bigger than a character on Swamp People. She became a symbol, a woman who didn't have to shout to be strong, who embraced her roots while redefining what it means to be tough. Whether or not she returns to TV, one thing is certain: she's already left her mark. Don't scroll, because this isn't the end of her story. It's just a new chapter, one with fewer cameras maybe, but no less impact. So what do you think? Has Pickle truly stepped away for good, or is she just getting started on something new?